What up, what up, what up? It's your girl, Lady Erica Lynn, and welcome to my first episode of Kicking It commentary. We don't play it safe over here. Y'all know the slogan. We on side kick it. Today I'm sharing storylines of what I'll be paying attention to when I go to training camp, which I will be there August 1st. So I'm going to be paying attention to some things, and I want to share those 7 things with you that I'm going to be paying attention to at training camp. Let's kick this thing off with watching Mr. Jaden Daniels. I want to be watching his leadership, his communication, and his growth. He's going to be the first thing I'm watching. Not because whether he can throw the ball. We all know he can throw that ball. He can throw that rock, yo. We already know that. I'm watching his command of this offense. We all know that he's going to be under center more, and he is in a different offense, this David Blau offense. So I want to see what year three is going to bring for him. It's not all about making plays. It's about leading this offense and communication, communicating with the teammates, and continuing to grow into the face of this organization and this franchise. And maybe eventually in the future he'll be grown into the face of this league. Every rep matters, Jaden. So I'm paying attention. I hope that you are paying attention to Jaden as well, because this dude is so laser focused this year. I've seen it in OTAs and I've seen it in minicamp, and I want to see just how focused it that continues on, and I believe it will, because that's just how Jaden Daniels is built, man. He's special, but I definitely going to be paying attention to Jaden Daniels. Okay, watch number 2. It's easy, it's simple. Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin is the standard, and he's Jaden's most trusted target. With Terry, I'm not watching whether he can make plays or not. I want to see if the connection between Jaden and Terry continues to evolve. We know Jaden's rookie season and Terry, their connection began to grow, and we saw what type of connection they had in 2024. 2025, another situation. Terry held out. They weren't able to continue to evolve and grow on that with that chemistry. And then injuries happened, and that chemistry just was like we weren't able to see it evolve into the 2025 season. But I believe, like I said with the last graphic with Jaden, he is Jaden is so focused, and Terry is too. I heard Rio say it a lot. Terry is in the best shape he's ever been. He looks really, really good, and they both look focused and ready to dominate this season and continue to evolve their chemistry. So I think this is the best time. That this is the best that we're going to ever see them two together, because David Blau already talked about getting Terry more targets this year, and so this season I think it's going to just be on another level with them two, and so I'm excited to see that connection continue to evolve during training camp. So that's what I'm going to be watching in training camp with Terry. Watch number 3. Who emerges as Jaden's next trusted target? Is it Antonio or is it Luke? Behind Terry, there is another interesting storyline, because who becomes his next target? Jaden's next target. Antonio Williams brings an exciting upside for real. And Luke enters year 3 with valuable experience. Trust isn't built overnight. It's built one rep at a time, and training camp is where those relationships begin to take shape. With Antonio Williams, I don't know about you, but I've noticed that they are not really showing him that much. We know what he can do, and we have all been trying to figure out what this offense is going to look like and where Antonio Williams is going to line up. I am saying right now, Antonio Williams is going to be number 2. I believe they're not showing him as much for a reason. They did that same thing with Jaden when he first started, when he came in his rookie year. They showed him, but they didn't show the gift that he really truly have. And I think they're doing the same thing with Antonio. Luke McCaffrey is a dog, yo. He's always open. And I believe Jaden is going to be able to continue to evolve his chemistry with Luke. Luke is going to play a significant role in this offense. And I'm excited to see him develop into a more dynamic wide receiver this year. And so those two, who's going to become that Jaden's next trusted target? Um, that's a toss up, but I want to pay attention to that in training camp. So that's the third thing I'm going to be watching in this year's training camp. All eyes on Diami. Everybody knows Mr. Playoff Diami, and can he be more than Playoff Diami? Maybe so. He stepped up in that 2024 season playoff run. Um, when we needed him the most. But this year, the challenge is different. Can he bring that same level, of production from week one through the end of the season? That's what I'm going to be watching. The flashes are there with Diami. We all seen it. But now it's about consistency, and we need to see if Diami Brown can be more than a playoff Diami. And he looks good. He looks good. He looks healthy. He looks strong. He looks faster. I like what they call them, documentary Diami, the things that he's doing on YouTube, and he's showing his work in progress, and he's continue to evolve like Terry, his chemistry with Jaden. So I need Diami to be more than playoff Diami. I need him to be consistent throughout the whole season. Um, so he's one of those players that I'm going to be watching in training camp. Most to prove. I'm a Traylon Burks girl and I'm a Jalen Lane girl. But these are totally two completely different stories, because Traylon is looking for a fresh start, another opportunity to prove that why he was once a first round pick. Jalen Lane is entering into his second season with a chance to show that he's more than just a punt returner. Last season, Jalen Lane gave him an valuable experience, and he is learning that this season is about showing he can be trusted when his number is called. That's why these two players I'll be watching very, very closely in training camp. With Traylon Burks, I believe he's a big body receiver and he's needed, because we don't have that type of receiver on this team. And so I am big on his ability if he can stay healthy. Sometimes, I've said this before, sometimes wide receivers don't work in certain organization, and look at the quarterback that's throwing them the ball as well. Traylon has a history of being injured, but I believe this new opportunity with a fresh start and coming into the season healthy, he has an opportunity to make his name and number be called throughout this season. So I'm going to be watching him. Jalen Lane, I think he can be more than a specialist, a return specialist. I like what he's doing in the offseason by working with Jaden Daniels and building chemistry. I believe last year he was a rookie, and people gave him a lot of flack about his drops and how all he can do is just return punts. But I want people to understand from my perspective, Jalen Lane was a rookie. And I think what has happened is that Jaden Daniels came in 2024 and just set the world on fire. And he's special. And I think he set that bar so high that we're looking at other rookies to come in and do the same thing. But we can't do that. We can't compare Jaden Daniels to Jalen Lane. Jaden Daniels is special. Jalen Lane has an opportunity, and he was thrown into the fire with all the injuries that we had. So he never had the opportunity to build chemistry with Jaden. Even if Jaden did play, what 7 games out of those rest of the season, he only played seven games. So that chemistry was never developed with Jalen Lane. Marcus Mariota wasn't able to build that chemistry as well. And so That's what I see with Jalen Lane. He just has not been given the opportunity to develop properly and to build chemistry with these receivers. I think he can be something special. I believe that's the reason why we have not brought back Debo, because I believe Jalen Lane can be a gadget player. So I'm gonna be watching him this training camp, and I'm gonna be watching Traylon Burks to see the value that he can bring. So I can't wait to see what happens with this. This is gonna be an interesting story. So pay attention. I'll be paying attention. That's what I'm watching in training camp. Somebody is gonna have to have a prove it camp, right? And Van Jefferson, his story is a little different. He's a veteran in the room. He's been around the league. And now the question is, can he still be counted on? I believe he can. Training camp is where veterans remind everyone exactly why they are still being called on. I'll be watching Van Jefferson this year in training camp to see what he can become. Can he become one of those dependable depth pieces in this offense? And can he be relied on? Van Jefferson, I have high hopes for him as well. Can he make this roster? I believe he can, but he got to prove it. And you know what's making have a leg up over a lot of these other receivers? He has the veteran experience, and he knows what it takes and what training camp is all about, and going out there and showing and proving why he belongs. So Van Jefferson, I'm watching you. Prove it to me. Prove it to me, dog. Okay, watch number 7. Make him notice, Jaden Bradley. Put him on notice. Every training camp has a player who quietly starts making people take notice. And that's Jaden Bradley. He has quietly been talked about from content creators to the coaches to the front office staff. Every rep for him is an opportunity. Every catch is another opportunity to earn trust. Sometimes all a player needs is one opportunity to change the conversation. And he has already done that. He has already done that in OTAs and minicamp. So I need you to continue to make them notice, Jaden Bradley. Make them notice and change the conversation, because this wide receiver room has a lot of competition. But it's up to you to make them notice and say, okay, this dude belongs on the active roster. So I'm paying attention to him in training camp. Okay, my final watch. Y'all know who I am. I'm your talent, culture, and beat reporter. And I'm watching this culture, yo. I'll be watching the interaction between the teammates. I'll be watching the communication with the coaches and the players. The energy. I need to see that energy, because 2025, we didn't have no energy at all. It just looked like blah. The accountability, the encouragement, the leadership, because talent wins games. But culture is what sustains winning. And if the Commanders continue building this culture they've established under Dan Quinn, this team can be more than just talented. They can be connected. And so I will be paying attention to the energy, because the energy last year was down. And so this year I'm paying attention to how they are coming out. Are they excited? Are they focused? Are they communicating amongst each other? On another note, one thing I didn't mention is the defense. I will be paying attention to the defense, but I'm not too worried about the defense, because you know why? After everything that I've seen with Durante Jones and how he teaches and how he moves, and this front seven is going to be dominant. I'm a true believer in um, when the front seven is dominant and creating pressure on the quarterback, that makes the secondary job easier. So I'm not that concerned with the defense. I believe they're going to definitely be dominant. So that's my 7 watches of what I'm going to be watching in training camp. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I want to hear what you're going to be watching in training camp this year. Drop your comments down below. I just gave you my perspective with my 7 things Make sure you hit that like button, kick yourself down in them comments, and kick that subscribe button. Yo, it's your girl, Lady Erica Lynn, your talent, culture, and beat reporter. And these are my 7 watches in training camp. Oh, I forgot. Until next time. This is my first episode of the Kicking It commentary. Remember, we don't play it safe over here. We on side kick it. It's your girl, Lady Erica Lynn. Peace.